From what you've seen of South Dakota, do they remind you of anybody on tape, in Indiana with their transition or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison. I mean, they push it, they attack, they have really good guards that have quickness and can make shots. They've got a good front line as well. I mean, Flack is really good, and Mooney's really good. Those two guys are special. But they're not the only guys they have. They have a winning program. They understand how to win. They share the ball, they move the ball, they compete. And they have some depth. So they're a team that I have a lot of respect for.
Do you see any Nebraska in this team?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, they do their own thing, but there's a couple things that you see that are similar.
A little undersized in the post. They haven't really seen that for a while. What's the change?
Well, pretty much everybody that they play can go off the dribble, can make shots outside, they can spread the floor. But they got some big guys that they can go to if they want to, play three bigs instead of three guards.
What's different about this year going into the NIT and when you guys entered it 4 years ago?
I don't see a whole lot of difference. And obviously, everybody in this situation wants to be playing in the other tournament. But when you look at the NIT and the quality of teams that are in it and how it's changed really over the last few years since the NCAA took it over, I mean, there are quality teams across the board. They're conference regular season champions. Everybody's got 20 wins. Or they're high major programs that were right there with really good players. And the exposure nationally is very good in terms of television. So there's obviously a tremendous amount of respect there. And it's an opportunity for us to be involved in a national tournament with a chance to win a championship against really good teams. So we're excited about the opportunity.
What's your opinion on the experimental rules and how you see that?
I've been involved with that a few times before. I think really the only way to figure out if you like the rule is to experiment with it. Put it into a game and see if it works. We're not a team that typically fouls a lot anyway. So, it could help us, I guess. But we'll see.
In your previous two NITs, you had seniors who went out that was, with Eric and Matt, and with Pete, everybody kind of rallied around that, sent him out the right way. And do you sense any of that with Pete, that this is his final year?
I didn't really look at it that way before. I don't look at it that way now. I just want this team to continue to win and get better. And I want Pete to continue to play well and have more opportunities and to show everybody what he's capable of doing. And that's kind of how I look at it.
Outside of just winning the games, where do you want these guys to get their motivation from for these games, for going forward?
Same way they would get their motivation for any other game. There's no different.
How have you seen Trey's game advance since he left here?
He's just more mature with his game. He's played well for them. He played 1 year junior college. It's really good. Played here, didn't go as well as he hoped. Sat out a year, learned the system, and has played really well for them. Been a double-figure scorer. So I just think he's an older guy now, and I think he sort of figured it out. And he's mature and a very valuable member of that team.
How important was getting a 1 seed and the fact that as long as you guys keep winning, you keep playing here?
Oh, I think that's great, but especially because of the way our fans respond to this team and have responded in the past to having NIT games here. But you can't assume anything. We have a really good team coming in here tomorrow. We've got to be ready to play them and hopefully continue to play well throughout the tournament.
You talked a lot about focus on yourself and correcting things that you've done yourselves. Is there room for guys to be playing frustrated with themselves for how the Big Ten tournament went? Or are you okay with that? If they're trying to correct that?
I think anytime you play poorly, you should want to correct it. But even if you play well, sometimes you do things that aren't so good. You want to correct that. If you are playing well, you want to continue to do those things. But ultimately, you want to be connected defensively and you want to play together offensively. If you do that, you have a better chance to win.
Do you anticipate making any kind of tweaks with an eye on the future at all?
No.
The lineups or anything?
No, just try to win tomorrow.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.